In this lesson, we're going to go ahead and adjust our initial Z-sphere shape into, pretty much the body shape that we need, or a body shape that I like. And to do this, I just tend to go ahead and use the move brush. But as you can see there, I went ahead and made my adaptive skin, and I'll just go up a subdivision level, and we'll go ahead and try and morph the shape into what we want. And I simply just use the move tool here with a rather large radius, and just symmetry turned on in the X direction, or in the X axis. And it's basically modeling inside of ZBrush. Obviously there's no extrudes or anything, since it's a real sort of basic shape that I'm looking for. But the key is you want to try to get it with your move brush as much as you possibly can to try and keep as accurate as you can. And it's easier to do that than it would be to say model it in Maya, because it's just going to be a lot faster inside of ZBrush. And so I'll just go ahead and continue to use the move brush and try to basically morph it into shape here. I'm going to go ahead and turn on the auto masking, which is for a modifier for the topological mask on the move brush, and adjust some of the settings in the in the brush palette here. And the topological mask, it works really well if you turn it down to a lower radius, and it just allows you to be more accurate in terms of how you want to move the mesh, or move it with the move tool. But like I said, you want to try to refine the shape as much as you can and have a great base before sculpting. And it just takes a little bit of time. As you can see, that somewhat looks like a head. It looks okay to me. I'm just playing with the shape and just going with it and seeing how I feel with it. Try to get something I like in terms of the shape for the initial sculpt to go ahead and sculpt on. I think that's okay so far. Just trying to refine the shape to something I want. This will probably be a two-part tutorial as well. We'll probably do the initial sculpting in the first few vids, and then we'll go ahead and paint it in another type. I'm just trying to refine the eye shape, and it'll help once I go ahead and bring in a Z-sphere. But for now, the key is just sort of try to refine the shape that you want, and try to get the shape that you want to go ahead and sculpt on, because it's better to have a great base rather than just sculpting from an just a standard recognizable shape. It's just better to basically have a better shape than or a better base shape than anything. So we'll just go ahead and continue to refine the shape as we need here. And I'm working on this with the intention of, eventually taking it back to Maya, to retopologize and then use for, say animation or or rendering, and retopology. And it'll all sort of tie in together whenever I would take it back to Maya. And I don't know if I'm gonna to add ears or not. I may, but I'm not 100% sure. I'm just trying it to see how it looks. But as you can see, you can quickly, go ahead and basically block in some really decent shapes real quick. A lot of it's, just concepting and just basically going with the flow. And there we go. There is our initial shape.